Too legit, they quit. I love that song. Oh. What's up, boys? Welcome to episode 3, all about mindset. And so today we're doing a continuation of our last broadcast, speaking to how we as a human race respond to our environment from a mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional level. But before I get to any of that, I just want to give a big applaud to all of you and a big shout out to all of you for sending me direct messages, text messages of support, and all those things. So I really appreciate that. It hits me right here. So much love to you. So whenever we have a perceived threat that has the potential to jeopardize our very existence, we are going to see and experience a level of emotions that we're seeing today within society. I'm talking about fear, anxiety, panic, but also apprehension, concern, and worry, because those are bedfellows. And all those things can cascade into an emotional response of fight or flight. And that can have a direct and detrimental effect on our physical body, right? So I like to call this a sense of dis-ease, a lack of ease. And so let me give you an example. I'm sure that many of you are parents, and I'm sure at some point in time, all of us were children. I'm kind of a big kid right now, so don't fault me for that. Well, when we were young kids, I'm sure at some point in time, your parent had an emotional outburst, right? Maybe you got home really late, or maybe like me, you washed all the white clothes and all the colors together, and you made like a whole new color palette. And then your mom comes home and says, "What happened to all my clothes?" And I'm like, "Ooh, so you're not supposed to do that?" All right, so don't fault me for that. But why am I using this as an example? Well, during that time and in that moment, all of us, and me as including, we experienced a sense of lack of security, right? We started experiencing fear. Our environment was like totally like, on fire. We were in trouble, and we sensed a lack of security. Well, I think that there's a direct similarity between the way we relate to our environments as a child, as our body is relating to an environment from our mind, right? So in this case, it's the virus, right? So the virus is here and it's creating all these anxieties, and this is creating a lack of security. Just like I felt really insecure when I did that with my parents. I was like, crap, I'm gonna be killed. So, wow, wrong choice of words, right? Sorry about that. So anyway, in this case, our environment, the virus, this pandemic, is creating a lack of security, which is creating a sense of dis-ease. Well, if we think about that, I believe that everything is pointing to stress, right? It's creating a level of stress that is something that we've not really experienced or managed ever before. That hasn't been, I don't know about you, but I've never really felt direct, I've never experienced a direct threat of my well-being and my state of existence up until this point. And so all these emotions, all these things are creating an elevated sense of stress. Well, for me, in order to really manage that, I had to recognize that, wait a second, what is causing this level of stress? And do I have any control over it? And as I've gone through this process, I've identified that, you know what? No, I don't. I don't have any control of the environment. I don't have any control of, this disease and where it originated from and how I could have better managed that. So all of these levels of emotions, these anxieties, these fears, these worries and concerns, all of these things that are compounding together and creating this elevated level of stress, in order for me to manage that, I've had to realize that I have no control over that environment. But what I do have control over is my response to that environment and who I am, right? And in order for me to meet that head on, I've had to see that, I have control over everything that's within this circle of space right here. And if I can identify that and manage that and be okay with all of the things that are external going around in chaos, and I can just be okay with that, it allows me to create a sense of ease again. It allows me to create a state of security that I once had pre-virus, pre-pandemic, right? And I think that that's really what people are dealing with today. They're taking all of those things, all of those external components, and they're bringing it into their circle of space that they're trying to control, but they can't. And then they're living with that. And that is creating this sense of disease. Well, if you can come to a point where you can manage your current state of all the things that you do have control over, and you can be okay with the world around you being out of control, right? Then you're going to be able to bring everything centered. You're going to be able to have some relief. You're going to be able to have a sense of peace and realize that, I don't have control over that, but I do have control over this. And you'll all of a sudden have a sense of freedom, and you'll begin to be able to relax and be okay with being in the state that we find ourselves right in today. So I just want to share that with you because I know that I have been going through this, in all of different levels of emotion. But in order for me to have a balance of freedom, I had to realize that I can't control any of that. But what I can control is this. And all these worries and fears, they're not created by that, right? They're created by me trying to control that, but I can't. So I'm going to let all those fears and worries and anxieties go. And I'm going to focus on me and what I can control. And I'm going to be okay. And I'm going to be still with that. And I'm going to have a sense of freedom that I once had pre-virus. And then playing this forward, when we get onto the other side of this thing, which we will, we're going to be in a better position to face any type of obstacle or hurdle or challenge because we're able to manage ourselves in a very scary state right now. All right, well, much love to you all. I hope that helps. Play that forward. Have a great week. Have a great life. And I'll see you next time on Voiced.